Breeders' Cup 2023, Future Stars Friday, and Championship Saturday. It is time for the 2023 Breeders' Cup Handicapping Show, and joining me tonight is going to be the Derby Bandit. We got together last year for the Breeders' Cup, and this year, the Derby Bandit joining me from Texas. And what's the weather like in Texas these days, Derby Bandit?
What's going on, everybody? Right now it's probably like 50 degrees, but colder than it should be. So, of course, I'm sick, so excuse my voice. Been sick all week, but we're not used to the cold weather down here in Texas, but we'll take what we get. Better than 110 degrees, I guess.
Yeah, we've got 14 races. We're going to go over the Breeders' Cup races in order, and we're going to go over Friday first. We're going to go over Saturday. You've made some bets and exactas and some win bets. I'm going to chime in with a few of my better picks from the 2 days. And I think we're going to, if you kind of listen and, again, I always do these shows because I think if you kind of listen to us while you're handicapping, every now and then you can kind of hear a little note or a hint and maybe gives you a chance to take a second look at a horse that we're mentioning that you might not have thought of. So let's start right away. Let's dive into Future Stars Friday. And the first race is going to be a 2-year-old race. It's going to be the Turf Sprint. One of the favorites in the race is Big Eves. And this horse has a lot of speed for a Euro. Another one that's getting a little bit of mention is a horse by the name of Valiant Force. There are a couple of also eligibles. And Derby Bandit, where are you kind of leaning in the Juvenile Turf Sprint?
All right, yeah, first race, let's go. I'm going to go with the number two. The number 2 horse, No Name Mets. That's Alex Bregman's horse, one of his Bregman family racing horses. And at 41 morning line odds, I think this horse has pretty good class coming in. Also competed in Ascot. Lost horribly, but of course that was a different type of race for the first time racing in that straightforward style of races. So I'm going to take a shot with it's still a Euro horse, but it's owned by an American, I guess, or trained by an American. So that's what I'm going to try and use over the 8 and the 9 in this race. I'm going to play against the 4, the favorite.
Okay, so Big Eves will probably be the favorite. You've got Tiger Bell.
Yes.
One thing I should mention is that No Name Mets did lose to Valiant Force, and Valiant Force is the 10 horse, and he's 12-1. So for your exacta, it looks like you're leaning towards Big Eves could maybe run second, but you're also including Flavian Pratt's horse Amidst Waves.
Yeah, I'm going to use that one too. I'm just going to try and get a good price underneath the 2, hopefully. As long as the 2 beats the 4 for first place, I think it's going to be decent payout in the exacta. So that's what I'm trying to go for here. But Valiant Force is another good one.
So you've got in your multi races, you're going to use 2 and 4 as kind of your key horses for the double or pick 3.
Correct.
Okay. Any thoughts on Crimson Advocate? You got him as a second place type horse.
Yeah, I picked that one just in case if it decides to show up and run pretty good. So that's what I'm going to throw that one. I might throw the one in. We'll see.
Juvenile Turf Sprint, top pick for the Derby Bandit is No Name Mets. That is my top selection. I haven't really thought about the exactas yet, but I do think Valiant Force is a horse to consider. I'm going to toss that last race in France just because a lot of those races were a little bit on the softer course, and I think he's going to appreciate a firm course. So Valiant Force, probably going to be a horse that I'll use at least in the exacta if I don't use it in the double. The second race of the day is going to be the Juvenile Fillies, 1 1/16 on the dirt. We've got the grade 1 winners in Tamra. We also have a grade 1 winner in Just FYI, and we have the grade 1 winner in Candid. Derby Bandit, who are you kind of leaning on in the Juvenile Fillies?
Well, this one's pretty much going to be everyone's single in the pick 5 sequence or their pick 3s, whatever sequences they're going to play it in. So, of course, Tamara is going to be my top choice to win, but I'm not going to bet her to win because she's probably going to be 4 to 5, if not probably a little bit cheaper than that. But I'm going to go with the number 6, Chatterless at 8 to 1 as my is going to be my win bet, I should say, for this race.
Tamra is
What's
by
going on?
Beholder, and Beholder won a couple of races in the Breeders' Cup, and she dominated her last race, the Del Mar Debutante. I think she's got the highest buyer speed figure coming into the race.
Yeah, she's super fast, and she's going to be the one to catch. So I mean, it's gonna be tough to beat her. So I mean, pretty much it seems like everyone's just gonna be running for second, but hopefully might be one of those favorites that falters in the big race, and maybe we might be able to get a price. And like I said, hopefully the 6 I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get 8 to 1, but if I get 10 to 1, 11 to 1, then that'll be even better, especially for the exacta payout.
All right, the long shot is Chatterless. Your top pick is Tamra. And you thinking Tamra is the type of horse that you definitely want to use in your multis, but a Chatterless
Yes,
will kind of juice up the payoffs.
that's what I'm hoping for.
All right, my top selection in that race. I think, just FYI, did not like the slop the last time. That was an extremely sloppy track. So I think she's capable of better than a 75 buyer speed figure. I think she can be closer to an 80 to an 85. Some good pedigree on this one by Justify, of course, a Triple Crown winner. But the mare on this horse is out of a mare that won $1 million. So there's a nice pedigree here. The owner is a horse, well-known owner. He has a lot of homebreds. He owns Warlike Goddess. So I think this is a nice homebred, and it's a nice pedigree, and she's 8 to 1. So I like just FYI in the juvenile fillies. Next race is the juvenile turf, and this one is for the fillies. They're going to be mowing the lawn. They're going to be going a flat mile. And it's always interesting because the European horses come over with a lot of 6 and 7 furlong races, and they stretch out to a mile. And the American horses run a lot of the mile and 1/16. So they cut back to that mile. Big field, a lot of different ways you can go here, Derby Bandit.
Yeah, this is one of the more wide open races, I guess you should say, for Friday, as far as the Breeders' Cup races go. And this one, it was hard for me to come up with a winner in this one, but I'm pretty confident in the number 9 horse, Carla's Way at 6 to 1, trained by Simon Grisford, and James Dole will be on board the irons for this one. This horse was favored in pretty much in all the races it's ever ran. And the last race at Newmarket won by 2 1/4 lengths. So I'm hoping this one comes home at 6 to 1.
Newmarket, a very demanding turf course. It's got some pretty strong hills. And I think Carla's Way definitely is a nice price at 5 to 1. I think she'll be that. I think there'll be 3-4 horses at 4 or 5 to 1 in this race. You know, she feels pretty. A nice win at Woodbine. They've got her as a morning line potential favorite, but I think either Carla's Way, Porta Fortuna, or Les
6.
Pavots will probably go favorite. I just think the Euros are a little more stronger, just conditioning wise coming in.
Yeah, it's always their turf courses that are always a little bit more demanding than the American ones. And I agree with that. I think one of the Euros, or most of the Euros, are definitely going to be shorter price than the 9. So hopefully we'll get the 9 over one of the Euros. And I do like that 11 horse too. That was going to be my second choice here, but I went with the 9 instead.
All right. Now here's something interesting, Derby Bandit. One of our listeners who may be familiar with the European scene says Carla's Way recently had throat surgery. So that could be a positive sign if she's been running well with some breathing issues, and maybe that contributed to the big win the last time out.
Yeah, that could definitely help too, or it could hurt it. And it doesn't say that in the past performances. So that's good information right there.
So yes, definitely a chance to take a look at Carla's Way, a solid price at 6 to 1 on the morning line. I think anything over 5 to 1 is definitely playable in doubles, pick threes, or even in exactas. Now we go back to the dirt, a mile and a 16th. Again, like the filly race, we've got all of the grade 1 winners in here. We've got Timberlake, who won the Champagne Stakes. We've got Locked, who won at Keeneland, the Breeders' Futurity. We've got also Prince of Monaco, the Del Mar winner. And then Muth won the grade 2 American Pharaoh, but that's still a top prep race out west. Those are the 4 big stakes winners. What are you thinking in the Juvenile on the dirt here, Derby Bandit?
All right, I think this is going to be a pretty good race to, I guess, pretty much close out the Breeders' Cup for Friday. I'm going to go with the number 4, Timberlake. Hopefully, Brad Cox, Florent Drew get the job done at 4-1. Obvious choices are going to be the number 10, Mute, and then the number 2, Prince of Monaco. I see that I've been seeing that Prince of Monaco's been getting a lot of traction online, especially on Twitter, or now it's called X, I guess you used to say. So hopefully, if we can get Timberlake to beat either one of those or the 11 horse, hopefully get a pretty good little decent exacta payout for the Juvenile.
Yes, and Richard confirming that Carla's Way did have the surgery after the July 9th race. So a big effort last time out. So that's some good news. Like you say, anything that you can find that's not in the past performances, I think has a little bit more value. So have to dig around and confirm that. And I think that could potentially be something to kind of give you a little bit more of a lean. I mean, you'd already picked her anyways, but I'm always looking for information that isn't so readily available because everybody has got the past performances. So interesting, you put future Derby winner because, yeah, the winner of this race usually becomes kind of the early Kentucky Derby favorite. They don't normally, only one horse has ever won the Kentucky Derby after winning the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. We had first a Street Sense, and then we had Nyquist. So only 2 horses have won both the Juvenile and then the Kentucky Derby. Do you think we have that type of horse this year, Derby Bandit?
I think so, somewhat, I guess. I don't know. It seems like every time we see one of Bob Baffert's monster horses, they end up retiring and going off the stud before their 5th race. So I don't know. It's kind of 50-50, I guess I should say. Because I do like Prince of Monaco and Muth, but we'll see if they make it to the Derby Trail next year.
I think you'll get a little bit higher than 4-1 on Timberlake. I think you'll get 5-1 because I think people really like Muth and Prince of Monaco. And
yeah, they're going to be bet heavily.
So, yeah, I think you'll get 5-1 on Timberlake.
Sounds good to me.
We got a question. Yes, the Canterbury vlog at Canterbury Park. I will be at Canterbury Friday and Saturday. The horse racing vlog at Canterbury Park. I met him a couple of years ago. He's out at Canterbury and he likes the live racing at Canterbury, and he also likes to come out for the simulcasting. So that'll be good to see everybody at Canterbury Park for the big 2 days of racing. You're going to maybe go to the local track in Texas. Also maybe make some bets and play a little bit from home. So all across the country, people playing the Breeders' Cup races and taking a look at the 5th and final race of the day on Friday. We go back to the lawn. We'll be mowing the lawn on the turf, 1 mile, Breeders' Cup Juvenile turf. Looks like we're going to get a full field. Liam's Journey is a scratch. That one they announced a couple of days ago. A lot of people like Endlessly, the undefeated horse from America. Some people like Unquestionable. And then River Thai Beer also, I think, will receive some of the play.
Yeah, that's who I'm going with, the undefeated one, the number 9, Endlessly. I don't know why my graphic looks so huge. But at 5-1 Moorland odds, I think might get maybe 6-1. A little bit better price maybe because everyone's going to be betting River Tiber and Unquestionably the other Euros that are in the race. So I'm going to go with Endlessly because they ran a 96 second base speed figure the last time out at Santa Anita going 1 mile. So that's going to be my top pick for this race.
Yeah, I think from the American horses, I like the fact she doesn't have to ship. I think she likes he likes a fast, firm course. And he's been impressive. I mean, those wins were nice wins.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And like I said, horse for course right here. So that's why I'm going with the 9.
All right. Smoggington says he's taking a hot take here. He's going with Agate Road, the son of quality road for Todd Pletcher. A couple of big time closes, won the Pilgrim Stakes last out, and definitely will probably be about 10-1 on Agate Road.
That's a good pick. I won't talk you off your horse.
All right. I say never talk anybody off a horse that's 10-1 or higher.
Yeah, or like he's got a strong opinion on it. I might throw it underneath and add it to the exactas. So he might have a strong finish and finish second, and that'd be the one horse to knock me out of the exacta. But if I add it in, appreciate you for helping me out. That's what this game's all about: listening to opinions and incorporating other people's thoughts and ideas, and seeing how you view a race. Someone else might see another angle. So that's what I always like. What our opinion is, like you have to play it. It's not like that. It's just you incorporate other people's opinions into your own, and you make your own best betting decision to win the race and make some money.
Anthony likes Locked in the 2-year-old Juvenile. He thinks he's going to be a strong selection. And
that's a good horse too, but I mean, I don't know about these New York shippers, I guess you should say.
And then Richard likes Carson's Run in the turf race. So I think we've got, I think you're seeing even among our viewers, not everybody's on the same horse. It looks like, we really do have.
Yeah, well, that's good.
3-4 horses being picked in every race by a lot of our fans out there.
Yeah, and I like Carson's Run too, especially from coming off of the races in Woodbine. So I mean, that's a solid pick.
What I like about that Woodbine turf course, a big course, really one of the nicer turf courses. They've got, it's a wide course. They take good care of it. They have different lanes. So, some of the American turf courses like Fairgrounds and Gulfstream, they get pretty beat up. But I think Woodbine is more of a true turf course.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. I know Santa Anita's looks pretty rough.
On Friday, who is your best bet of those 5 horses?
I'm going to have to stick with going to race 7 in the Turf Mile, Carla's Way. That's going to be my strongest opinion right here for the day.
Somebody wanted to know about Slider in the Turf Sprint. Yes, that's a John Sadler trained horse. So he's on his home course. And I think he has the speed to challenge No Name Mets. And if he does, along with Big Eves, Slider is definitely going to be double the price of No Name Mets. So I actually, at first, I thought Slider was kind of one of my B or C horses. But when I really started looking at that race, I do think Slider is the type of horse that you could use in a double just because he doesn't have to ship. The last race was 21-3. He's familiar with the course. And he's got a little bit more in. I like horses in those first 6 or 7 post positions in that 5 furlong sprint. Yeah,
Slider could definitely be a problem here for No Name Mets and Big Eves in this race. So if that's your best opinion, I would probably hammer it. But I mean, if he doesn't make it, then of course you're losing out your money. That's a solid bet. All right.
Let's go to Championship Saturday. We've got races starting on Saturday, which will be race 3 with the Breeders' Cup. And we start off with the Big Ass Fans Dirt Mile. The defending champion, Cody's Wish, going to be 4-5. And he's going to take on the pride of Charleston, Skippy Longstocking in this race, Derby Bandit.
That's right, my boy Skippy. That horse made me a lot of money this year, so I've been high on him all year, but that's not who I'm going to go with in this race. Of course, everyone's going to be betting for Cody's Wish. They're going to be showing the story. It's a great story, backstory to the horse and Cody Dormant. So Cody's Wish is probably going to win this race, but I'm not going to bet him that way. I'm going to go with the number 1 Stage Raider for 15-1 for Sherry DeVoe, and Brian J. Hernandez will be on board for this race. So I'm just going to go with someone who's, I guess, going to have a better price odds, I guess you should say, be the long shot of the race. And hopefully if I get him over Cody's Wish or the 4 or the 6 or Skippy Longstocking, I'm hoping for pretty much a meltdown, basically. And in Cody's wish is race, I guess I should say. So that's what I'm hoping happens in the dirt mile.
Now, Cody's Wish won the mile last year, the dirt mile. He won the Met mile, which is probably sometimes that Met mile comes up even stronger than the Breeders' Cup dirt mile. Now, his last
Yeah.
race, he only won, he barely won. He got up in the final stride. He beat some horse, Chad Brown trained horse, accreditive. Some people thought his speed figure went down just a little bit. He ran a 112 in the Met mile for a buyer, and his last race was only a 100. Can he get back up to that 105, 106? Or do you think maybe a year older, he may have lost a half a step or a quarter of a step?
Yeah, I think it seems like he's on the regression side of his career, but I mean, I don't know. It just all depends how the track's going to play out for him. And it's going to be interesting to see come Friday how it plays out on the dirt going into Saturday. But I mean, he's got the best shot here to win this race. I mean, it's pretty much his race to lose, I believe.
All right, let's get caught up on some comments. If you have some picks, get them in here. Anthony Rizza likes Gina Romantica in the turf as a long shot. And Ronnie Bravo says Tamara is a single in the juvenile fillies.
I agree.
He has joined us before on the show, and he's usually got some good picks. Richard says that Cody's Wish is training last year. Yes, he seems to be holding well in the flesh, and Clocker reports have him with some nice workouts, or at least some strong gallop outs. He seems to have a very shiny coat and holding his weight, so that's good. Ronnie wants to know when he's single in the pick 6 on Saturday. We'll probably get there, but I think, there's a few horses you can take a look at. A lot of people like Songline. Some people like a horse like White Abario. So we'll talk more about that as we get into some of the pick 6 plays. Anthony says he's going to play Cody's with a long shot in the exacta. And, I think there's some different ways you can go. Stage Raider could definitely be one of those exacta horses, mainly because he's a closer.
Definitely.
He ran second to Zozos the last time.
Yep, and ever since he made the trainer switch over to DeVoe, he's been running pretty good. So I guess you could say he's improving as he's getting older now.
One thing, Zozos is strong at a mile. He's 3 for 3 at a mile, but he's had softer fractions. There isn't a lot of speed in this race. And a few years back, Brad Cox sent out Go Nix Go to go wire to wire in the dirt mile. Zozos was the pace setter in the Louisiana Derby last year as a 3-year-old, and he did run in the Kentucky Derby. He ran up near the pace for the first half mile.
Yeah, Zozos is definitely going to be another one to think about, and if you're going to use multi-race wagers, or maybe even using your daily double bets. But this one, I'm not gonna use Zozos for this race because I just think Cody's Wish has too big of a handle in this race.
All right, let's take a look. We go back to the turf now. We've got the filly and mare going a little bit of a route of ground, definitely 2 turns. In Italian finished second in this race last year. Aidan O'Brien sends out Warm Heart. Moira ships down from Woodbine, and then In Spiral had a big win in France the last time out. And then Didia's from Argentina. McCulloch from Great Britain. This one really does have an international appeal. A lot of horses bred throughout the world in this race.
Yeah, I would. This is definitely going to be one of those Euro overseas winning horses here. But I stuck with the number 2, Warm Heart, for Aidan O'Brien. It's won the last 3 of the 4 races, and it's 2-0 at a mile and a quarter. So that's why I'm going with this one. And at 3-1, I don't know if I'm going to get truly 3-1, but I'm hoping so because I know a lot of people are going to be betting the 6 in Spiral, especially after that last performance and that last performance win. So hopefully get 3-1 and use it in the exactas over the 3, the 5, and the 10. So that's going to be my play for this race.
All right. I think he'll get 3-1 on Warm Heart. I think In Spiral is going to take some money. In Italian, it's hard to toss her completely. She's got speed. We know where she's going to be at. And until they catch her, she's always capable of winning. She got beat by Gina Romantica, who is Anthony's long shot. One note from our listener, Cody's Wish doesn't like going 2 turns. I agree with him. I think his better races have been at 7 furlongs and at Belmont Park, but he's still a competitive foe. And Cody's Wish, yep, the final race of his career. So we'll see how he kind of goes out. Richard thinks Zozos is definitely going to the lead. And the horse racing vlog at Canterbury says Zozos, a 1-turn specialist. Brad Cox mentioned that after that nice win last time out. But, there isn't a lot of speed in this race. A few of these horses just don't have any speed, like Cody's Wish. Even a horse like Skippy doesn't like to be. He had speed at the Bull Ring when he was the big favorite. But I think in this type of race, he's going to come a little more off the pace. Ron has now joined the show. Hello to Ron. And Richard says he likes Inspiral and Warm Heart. That's the exacta from Richard. And Smoggington says he's on the Italian bandwagon.
Yeah, in Italian, Chad Brown's sending that one out. So, like you said, finished second last year. So looking for a little bit of redemption in this race to win it. But I'm gonna stay away from the number 1. I don't like her here in this spot. Not in this race against all these zeros.
All right. Yeah. If you've got a best bet for Friday or Saturday, get it in the comments here. Ronnie says his best bet for the 2 days, or on Saturday anyways, is White Abarrio. So that's Ron's best bet of the 2 days. And Ronnie Bravo says for his alternative best bet is Cody's Wish. So some people like White Abarrio. We'll be getting to that classic later on. And Ron says he's going to stay out of the dirt mile. He thinks there's better opportunities. And Omish likes McCulloch.
I agree.
Yep. Yeah, I think there's some good opportunities on Saturday. Again, you kind of got to pick your spots. Now we go to one of the big favorites of the day, the filly and mare sprint, the defending champion, Goodnight Olive. She ran a career best speed figure the last time out, losing to Echo Zulu, but no shame in that game. She ran huge. Echo Zulu just ran them off their feet with a 112. She was retired this last week. Who's your pick here in the filly and mare sprint?
Got to go with the same one I picked last year on this show, Goodnight Olive. But am I going to bet her? No, I'm not. I'm going to stay away from this race completely from any kind of wagering. I'm just going to watch it and enjoy it, and hopefully watch Goodnight Olive win again. I don't think there's really that much competition for her in this race. I think she's going to run everybody off the screen.
Yeah, she had a troubled trip at Churchill when she got bottled up. Otherwise, the past performances are a lot of ones in there, and she won this race last year. Just double checking her buyer. She did it last year with a 101. And in her last race, which she lost to Echo Zulu, she ran a 108. And even in that race where she was trapped in the Madison, or she won the Madison, that was a 98. So if she runs any of her top 3 races, that's better than anybody else has ever run.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And that's why this is, if you're going to single, I guess, in your multi-race wagers, this is going to be the single right here. Pretty much just like Tamara. It's going to be her race to lose. So if you beat her in the exacta or trifecta, you're probably going to get paid, but not very much because everyone's going to have the same idea that you're having to try and beat her. That's why I'm staying away from this race as far as betting goes.
Now, Society is interesting. She comes in from Charleston, beat a weak field there, but she also had a big win at Ellis Park. Last year, she tried going up in class and didn't do well, but now she's older. She is by Gun Runner. Steve Asmussen trains. Has she been beating weaker, or she's just not really at the Goodnight Olive class? I don't know.
I don't think she's as good as it, but also it helps her because she's been beating horses who. I don't know. But if you like her, I'm not going to talk you off of her to beat Goodnight Olive.
Yeah. The other one to look out for, maybe Clearly Unhinged. She's got some speed. Goodnight Olive isn't a front runner, so she's going to come a little off the pace.
Yeah, she's going to be
Society or Clearly Unhinged could be the speed.
I agree.
So, you're always at the mercy of pace if you're not a front runner. All right, let's go to the turf, a 1 mile traditional, one of the original Big Seven Breeders' Cup races. We've got Maudge, who won the Keeneland Mile, Master of the Foxhounds cutting back, Master of the Seas, lost a head bob at Keeneland. And then you've got Exalted was scratched today, so that's a scratch.
Oh,
And then
man.
you've got a horse like Jour, who Bob Baffert's trying to win his first ever race in the Breeders' Cup on the turf.
Yeah, this is going to be probably one of the better betting races, I think, for Saturday. And I guess you said Exalted Scratch, so that was going to be one of my long shot plays in this race. But I'm going to go with my top pick, the number 6, Modge. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. At 4-1. 4-0 this year in 2023. Ran a 119 Equibase speed figure at Keeneland on October 14, and it's 2-0 at this distance. So hopefully the Irish bred gets it done in this one. It's going to be a very tough race, especially with Master of the Seas and Songline going to be probably co-favorite going into it. So hopefully make a little bit of money if the 6 runs pretty big here and beats either of those 2 horses.
So yes, number 12, Exalted scratched, and Master of the Seas moves in. He had originally had the 14th post. I think people do need to keep an eye out with the new safety protocols. It seems like there's a few more scratches this year, so keep your eye out on Friday for a few scratches, and Saturday we'll probably have a few more, but the fields really seem to be coming together. We've got some big fields, so that's good. Let's take a look at the next race, which is the Distaff on the dirt, a 1.8 miles. Last year, a very exciting finish. We had a 3-horse photo finish. We had Clairiere, we had Malathot, we had the Argentina horse, and very exciting. I think we've got a chance to kind of repeat that. We've got randomized. You've got Pretty Mischievous, the Oaks winner. You've got a Dari Manor. You've got a horse like Wet Paint. Clairiere is back. This is a good field.
Yeah, it's gonna be a pretty good, tough race coming, like you said, coming down to the wire. Can Clairiere bounce back and get a little bit of redemption and win this year? I'm going to be a little bit of a play against her this year, and I'm going to go with number 8, Randomize. I think coming off those 2 wins this year, going straight to the lead, and hopefully she's gonna do the same thing this year, and hopefully going to try and catch her. Of course, there's going to be others contending to try and go into the lead with her, but I just hope that she stays on the lead and she gets the job done for Chad Brown and Jose Ortiz. And at 6-1, that's why I put no chalk there, because I'm going to hopefully try and beat Idiomatic in this race. I think it's pretty much going to be her race right here to lose. I'm calling it. Idiomatic wins, but hopefully Randomized wins. You know what I'm saying? You got to get that price horse in.
Randomized with back-to-back wins, the Alabama Stakes, won the Beldame, which is a grade 2, but that used to be a grade 1. That was a small field. It looks like, what do you think about Clairiere? She lost to Idiomatic the last time. They gave her some time off, and she ran huge last year in a couple of races. Plus, she won the Apple Blossom earlier this year.
Yeah, she was good last year, but I just feel like this year she's a little bit on the regression side. So I think she's slowly starting to regress. So that's why I'm playing. I'm not even going to use her. Wait, do I have her on there? I don't even remember if I put her on the bet or not. I don't think I have her on the exact. No, I don't.
You got her in the exact.
Yeah, so I don't have her hidden first or second in my bets. Maybe 3rd or 4th in the try or the superfecta, but I'm going to leave her off the exacta.
Now, what I like about this race is even among our viewers, we've got a lot of different opinions. Richard says La Davida is his bomb place. She ran 2nd to Idiomatic at Keeneland. David, he loves Clairiere with an exclamation point. And I agree with Smoggington. This field is deep. Like, this came up tougher than the class. Exactly. I think there's 4 or 5 horses here.
Yeah, there's a lot. You can go either direction. You can go with Wet Paint to close it out, or like you said, Clairiere bounces back. Search Results is another one too. I like that bet right there. Randomized over Search Results. Yeah, Chad Brown's got a pretty good shot in here to win this race.
We've got Pretty Mischievous for Smoggington. Ron, definitely take a closer look at this race. A lot of horses have gone wire to wire. A Dari Manor, Idiomatic, and randomized, so they all can't go wire to wire. And Santa Anita was closers today, so we'll see what happens tomorrow and Saturday. But yeah, I think that's a deep field. You definitely have to look at some pace figures and try to figure out who may have the lead at the 6 furlong mark. Now we go to the turf, another one that's got some of the best horses in Europe at 12 furlongs, 12 furlongs, a mile and a half. You've got the Champions Day winner in Mostadov, who scratched out of Champions Day. He is coming over. You've got August Rodin, who won the Irish Derby. You've got King of Steel, who won a couple of weeks ago on the quick turnaround. Warlike Goddess won a grade 1 in her last race. She ran in this race last year, and Bill Mott trains. And then you got the Japan runner, and even One's Two is a nice horse, a very deep field.
Yeah, this field is pretty much packed with superstars in it. And like you said, with, the Euros, I guess you should say, one of them's going to win. And I'm going to go with the other of the Aidan O'Brien horses. I'm going to go with the number 4, Bolshoi Ballet. This horse last won on August 26th at Saratoga. And I called that one on Twitter. So if you bet it, congratulations. We made some money on that one. But I'm going to play that one over the 4, the 8, and the 9. I believe August Rodin should win here. If not, then probably the number 9, Mostadov. And if you want to spread in this race, go ahead and add the number 8 in there if you're playing your pick 5s. But that's who I got for this race. Long shot, I might throw maybe $10, $20 on number 7, Broom, at 30 to 1, because especially cutting back from 2 miles, 2.5 miles, 2.25 miles, coming back to a mile and a half. Who knows if the pace falls apart or something? Broom could get in there and steal the show.
Yes, Ron says this could be the best race of the weekend.
I agree.
We've got Smoggington says he's going August Rodin. Another person says Mostadov.
Yep.
And you've got Warlike Goddess. So yeah, we've got 4 or 5 people picking. Illich likes Mostadov. So it looks like 4 or 5 different horses being picked, and you're going with Bolshoi Ballet for all of it with a suitcase. Yep.
That's right. I'm taking everybody's money.
All right. That definitely could be the race of the day. And King of Steel, like that guy is no slouch on a quick turnaround, but he's a big horse, and he's ran.
Yeah, he's a good horse.
Yeah.
Not that race that August Rodin ran him down, man. He was right on the lead going towards the end.
Yep.
So that was a close race. But I just think he's coming back too short. That's like 10-day turnaround or something like that, 8-9 days.
Let's take a look at the Breeders' Cup Classic. Of course, this year it's not the last race on the card because they're going to show some football. But the Classic moves up to race number 9, and we've got a 13-horse field, but Arcangelo is now scratched. So Arcangelo is scratched. There's no 1 horse. Let's quick run down some of the horses. Zandon, a winner of the Woodward. White Abario, the Whitney winner. Derma Sotagaki, the UAE Derby winner. He has not run since the Kentucky Derby. Saudi Crown won the Pennsylvania Derby. Clapton won the Lucas Classic. Ushba Tesoro, the Dubai World Cup winner. He hasn't lost in over a year, 6 straight wins. Senior Buscador, he won the San Diego Handicap. Bright Future won the Jockey Club Gold Cup. Arabian Night, the Pacific Classic. And Proxy, the Oaklawn Handicap. All the leading older horses are in here, and a couple of good 3-year-olds.
I agree. It's a pretty good, strong field for the older horses, I guess, and we'll see what happens. But I think it's going to be a pretty decent race. I mean, it's probably not one of the better classes we've had over the last couple of years. But this year, I'm going to take a shot. I was going to have Arcangelo as my top pick, but of course, he's retired. So I'm going to stay away from the Chaka, not use Ushba Tesoro or Arabian Night, because I think those 2 are going to probably be co-favorite. And I'm going to go with the number 6 Saudi Crown for Brad Cox and Florent Giroux at 12 to 1. I'm hoping this one goes to the lead and they try and catch him. And, Ushba Tesoro is going to be running late, as long with Proxy and everyone else coming for him. So I'm hoping that this one stays on the lead and hits the wire first.
All right, Richard, he is going to play a senior Buscador as key for the Classic. He's
Oh
his
man, good luck.
our Kong. Ron likes White Abarrio's Met Mile better than his Whitney, and he thinks he's going to get 2-1, 5-2. He'd be happy with that. And somebody agrees with you. They're going to play a Warlike Goddess Saudi Crown Daily Double. That would probably pay about $400.
Yeah, that's a good bet right there. I'm gonna have to screenshot that one when I go back and watch this and save it.
David likes Senior Buscador. John likes Saudi Crown. Smoggington is going with White Abarrio. And
That's a good pick.
David likes Bright Future, the winner of the Jockey Club Gold Cup. And then, of course, now the pace battle here. You've got Arabian Night wire to wire in the Pacific Classic. You've got on a sloppy track, the Pennsylvania Derby Saudi Crown. He also led all the way around in the Jim Dandy when Forte beat him right on the line. Who do you think is quicker? Who do you think of those two horses leading 6 furlongs into the race, Derby Bandit?
I think Arabian Night, like you said, and Saudi Crown are both going to be there or close to, pretty much 1 or 2 lengths from each other. It all depends because Arabian Night's going to be on the outside, so depends how he gets out of the gate and how they come around that first turn. So I think Saudi Crown's going to have the edge on him. That's what I think. I think Brad Cox's going to have Florent Drew just go on him and take him to the max.
All right. Yes, Smoggington. Ushba Tesoro has been going to the gate a couple of extra times because he's been having some gate issues. Arcangelo is scratched. I think we're going to see about 47, maybe 47-2 for the 4 furlongs, maybe 111-3, 111-4 for 6 furlongs. And I think Arabian Night, even though he's outside of Saudi Crown, that'll be the key between those jockeys. Who wants that lead? White Abarrio has enough speed to at least keep him honest. I mean, I think he'll be sitting third, but he could be, if they go too slow, I think he's capable of taking the lead if it goes to 112.
Yeah, it just all depends how Irad's gonna, I guess, just gonna have to go with the flow of the race, and I'm sure Irad's done this hundreds of times, so I'm sure he's got the timing down on White Abarrio already. So hopefully, I mean, it's gonna be a good race. So I don't know, we'll see what happens. I have a feeling probably Yusuf Tesoro is gonna keep that streak alive. But like I said, no chalk here, so I'm gonna go with the 6 Saudi Crown.
All right, we got a proxy fan from Omesh. Michael M says he's going with White Abarrio. Richard Dutrow, of course, won the Breeders' Cup Classic with St. Liam. You've got Exactabox, White Abarrio, Saudi Crown, and Dreamlike. That'll pay box cars. I like that. A 3-1, a 10-1, and a 30-1. Box them up.
Do it. $1, $6.
John says they've been teaching Saudi Crown to sit just a little bit off it. I kind of agree with that. He definitely was more speed crazy in his first 2 races. Dreamlike was closing in the Pennsylvania Derby in the slop. Smarty says Tesoro should be get out of the gate okay. He's a closer. He's won 6 in a row. It's been almost 13 months since he's lost. Of course, he won the Dubai World Cup. This is for $6 million. Big purse, and he took all the money home from Dubai. Tesoro did.
That was a big payday for him.
The vlog at Canterbury Park, he says he likes Zandon for trainer Chad Brown. Of course, he won the Woodward Stakes. And then Brad Cox, it's up to him to determine if he wants to go to the lead and challenge Arabian Night or lay just a little bit off of Arabian Night. So we'll talk a little bit more about the Classic, but I want to get through these final 2 races. My selection is Arabian Night. I'm going to play him in exactas over Saudi Crown, Proxy, and Zandon. I've got a video up on that previewing the Classic if you want to watch that. And then also we have the Turf Sprint. And what's interesting, this is not going to be on the downhill course. This is going to be 5 furlongs of straight out sprint, although it does have a turn. It's not like Europe. Big
Yeah.
Invasion, winner last out. Caravel won last year at 40-1. Living the Dream, Gear Jockey. What are you thinking, Bandit, in the turf sprint?
I think this is a little bit more wide open race, and I'm going to stick with number 6, Gear Jockey, as my top choice at 12-1. I think the last race at Kentucky Downs that ran a 109 upper base speed figure going 6 furlongs, so cutting back a little bit in the distance. But everyone knows Kentucky Downs has that funky up and down dip, up and down course. So hopefully the cutback, just makes them run that much better, um, to go 5 furlongs instead of 6. So I'm going to stick with a horse that's made me money and hopefully continues to make me money come Breeders' Cup Saturday.
All right, let's take a look. The Breeders' Cup Sprint. This one's going to close it out this year. One of the original Big Seven. We've got the Dr. Shivel in the house. He won his last race over Speedboat Beach. American Theorem is scratched. Hoist the Gold won at Keeneland last time out. The Chosen Vron has won 8 races in a row. And Elite Power, the defending champion.
Yeah, this is going to be a pretty good race as long as, I guess, Elite Power and Gunite don't just run it 1-2, because that's pretty much on paper how it should play out. But I'm hoping that the number 6, the Chosen Braun, gets it done. It hasn't raced in a while, a couple months, but 5-1 Moreland odds, I'm willing to take a risk with that and play it over the 8-9 in the exacta. But as far as the long shots go, I do like the number 4, Hoist the Gold, because he beat me in that last race that he won in the pick 5. So it'd be nice if you get my money back in this race. But like you said, I mean, it's gonna come down to Elite Power and Gunite pretty much in this race.
Gunite cuts back from 7 furlongs and a mile to 6 furlongs. But the Chosen Vron 5-1 is solid odds for a horse that has won over the track, and he won a grade 1 last out.
Yeah, he's been running really, really great. And at Santa Anita, 8 starts, 7 wins, and 1/3. So, and 3-0 at the distance. I mean, it's kind of hard to not take him over the chalk and second choice chalk.
Hoist the Gold, you've got him mentioned. He's ran in some big races. He ran in the Met Mile. He ran in Kentucky Derby Day. He ran in the Malibu Stakes last year. And then he finally broke a long losing streak, winning the last time out. Maybe he's kind of turning around his form cycle here.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm going to use him as a long shot. And I'm probably going to end up throwing him in my pick 5 just for that reason, because I can't let him beat me twice or to beat me once the last time out in the pick 5.
All right, let's get caught up on some comments. We've got Michael M. with White Abario and Zandon Cold in the Classic. Horse Racing Vlog at Canterbury is going to be buying drinks for everybody if Zandon wins. David Barista says it's a tough race. He'll take his chance with the price, so maybe Saudi Crown. And Goose says Zandon's burned him too many times, although he did get a lot of seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
Second in that mile, second in the Whitney, won the Bluegrass Stakes. Omesh says the Dubai World Cup was the weakest in 15 years. So evidently he studies those fields. It wasn't as strong of a World Cup, Dubai World Cup. I mean, we've seen some bigger performances in the past. I don't know about the last 15 years. I don't follow it that closely, but I would say in maybe the last 2-3 years, Ushpa might not have beaten as strong of a field. David says good luck to everybody on the weekend. So do I. And we've got Richard in the turf sprint. He likes roses for Deborah. She will close and get the flowers. There we go. Give Deborah her flowers, as they say. And Ron Eastman says he's going to spread in the turf sprint. Not a bad idea. John Moeller likes Gear Jockey. He does seem to like Kentucky Downs. I thought he was ridden a little conservatively the last time out. He's got some big races at different tracks. On his best day, he can compete at this level.
Yeah, he's a solid horse. He's got the class to do it. And yeah, that I've heard that before, how he's also a Kentucky Downs horse. But that day he made me money, and that's all that matters. So hopefully he can pull off the upset here come Saturday.
Richard says his best bet is Speedboat Beach. Mike Smith getting another one. Omesh says Gunite is a single. Shots fired from Omesh. So he's going with Gunite, who probably will like a fast track. I don't think he liked the sloppy. John, frequent viewer of the show along the Derby Trail, he is going with the Chosen Vron. Smarty Gazelle likes Chosen Vron, going for Hector Barrios.
Yeah, Hector Barrios.
Yep. I think he will be 5-1. Yes, I think he'll be 5 or 6-1 for the Chosen Vron. Meanwhile, Ron is going to close out his pick threes and doubles with Speedboat Beach, Elite Power, and Gunite. Speedboat Beach, you know, he's a fast horse, and then off the layoff, he ran in the slot the last time against Dr. Shivel. Interestingly enough, nobody in our viewers has picked Dr. Shivel, and he beat Speedboat Beach the last time.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. I like Dr. Shivel too in this spot, but I mean, going up against the Chosen Vron and Elite Power and Gunite, I mean, he's probably like a seahorse in this race for me, in my opinion.
Richard says he won it for Baffert. He's in the winner's circle. Yes, I remember Midnight Loot rolling late for Baffert. Silver Charm says it's IRS ticket weekend. I like that. I'll take a couple of those if I can get a signer or two. It's hard to get a signer now. That means it's really a price.
Yeah, exactly.
Smoggington says he likes Elite Power. D says he likes Slider to wire the field. Richard says, thank you to everybody. Good luck, Richard. Just a reminder, I will be doing a Saturday morning show at 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern. We're going to go over any of the scratches. Siggy Mendoza is going to be our international correspondent. He follows a lot of the Dubai racing and the Uruguayan and Argentina scene. So he'll give us the lowdown on that. And yes, Ron, definitely would like to talk some horses. I'll be going to Gulfstream Park again, maybe at Canterbury, maybe at another track, but definitely thanks for watching the show. And on Saturday, Derby Bandit. Friday, you said your best bet of the day is going to be in who was your best bet of the day on Friday?
In the race 7, the Juvenile Fillies turf, mile number 9, Carlos Way.
All right. So for Saturday, who is your best bet?
Man, it's tough to say because I really do like Bolshoi Ballet, but I think Saudi Crown in the Classic. I got to stick with that one.
All right. And 6, you like Good Night Olive. She's a short price, but if you think she's going to win, there's nothing wrong with Good Night Olive.
Yeah, but I'm not going to give out a 4 to 5 shot on the show.
All right.
She's going to be really short.
His best bet is Baku on Friday.
Baku, the number 3. Yeah, that's a good horse right there, too. You definitely want to use in your exotics and your pick 3s and daily doubles.
All right. So that is going to do it. Saturday morning, 8 o'clock Central. We'll go over the scratches. We'll go over the changes for Saturday, talk about if there was any track biases for Friday. And then don't forget, there's still time in the description to sign up for my Breeders' Cup handicapping guide. It's absolutely free. Going to put a link in the description, a Friday edition and a Saturday edition. Already starting to write those up and type those up. They'll come out both days after the scratches, so I can make changes right up until all of the scratches have been announced. And the Derby Bandit, good luck on your wagers Friday and Saturday. Get healthy. And yeah, let's make some money. Thanks everybody for watching. Smoggington, Richard, Ron, Omesh, Smarty Gell, and John, one of our frequent viewers, David Barista, another frequent guest and viewer of the show. Saturday morning we'll be live, and then maybe thinking of doing a recap show after the races on Saturday, but we'll see if I get Derma Sotagaki to win. I may be out just celebrating the rest of the week. Who knows?
Let's get it.
All right. Derby Bandit and Derbyologist on the 2023 Breeders' Cup handicapping show.